Hi, Conrad Brown here from empiremarketing.ca, and I'm wanting to share a quick little story with you. This relates to the latest, Google updates. There've been quite a few updates, but to some of the latest ones. And basically, what happened? This goes back 3, 4, maybe even 5 years ago. I had a website in the make money niche, and my goal obviously was to rank at #1 on Google for make money related keywords. And I realized though that content is king, that I needed to have a lot of good quality content on this particular blog. So what I did, I hired somebody and they worked full-time for me, copying content from content directories, article directories. One particular article directory that was very strict in the content that they were allowing onto their site. So I figured, okay, quality content on their site, I'll copy it. Anything that has the make money keyword in it, I'll copy it and I'll have it copied and add it to my site. And then hopefully in the long run, I'll rank higher for anything make money related. And so I hired somebody to do this for me and spent quite a bit of money, but they did it. And I ended up with about, I believe, 1,500 articles on this particular blog. And I did a lot of SEO to it, built a lot of backlinks to this new blog, to every single post I built backlinks to. And it did not take long. I managed to get it to page 1 for some make money related keywords. So obviously very proud with the results I gotten and with what I achieved and all that. So it didn't take long. Google did an update, and this goes back quite a while now. And I started to slowly, fall back into the rankings. It didn't matter how many backlinks I built, how much new content I added, but I started just falling backwards. So what I started doing, I started adding real content, unique content, fresh content that I had written myself, and started adding it onto the blog in hopes to get it back up in its ranking. But it just wasn't happening. It was falling further and further backwards. So I decided, let's just leave that project for now, and then I'll come revisit that project at another time. I realized, because of the way the algorithm had changed and everything, I probably needed to go through and have every piece of content rewritten. But I figured, okay, I'll leave that for another day. But once a week I'd look at it again, and it's like, okay, sometime soon I'll hire somebody and rewrite all the content. But because in the back of my mind, I knew it was only a matter of time before Google would de-index the entire blog with all the content that was on it. So having said that, I knew I had to get all the content rewritten, and I knew I had to start building some really quality backlinks to it, but I just pushed it off because that was not a project I wanted to focus on. And then it happened about 2 weeks ago, probably a week or 2 weeks ago, I forget now, but that particular site got de-indexed on Google. It completely disappeared off of their searchable database. And as frustrated as I was with myself, because I knew I had the opportunity to change it, I had plenty of time to have everything rewritten and do things properly, setting up a proper site and getting rid of all the junky content or the copy pirated, stolen content that I had on it. And building real backlinks and all that. But so I was kicking myself for it, but at the same time, after I got over my little tantrum, I became relieved, because now the stress, and I hadn't really realized this, but there was a significant amount of stress that I carried on my shoulders, knowing that it was only a matter of time before I'd get hit even harder by Google. So now that Google finally had hit me, and I was finally able to just write out that particular blog, I was immensely relieved. I was quite happy, but at the same time, I was disappointed, because it was a project that I wanted to work on in the long run. And chances are I might revisit it one day, but for now, it's off my shoulders. I don't have to think about it anymore. The worst that could happen to it has happened. So the lesson that I learned from it, and I've learned this lesson a long time ago already, but it just reinforced it in my mind, was to always build with the long-term effect in mind. So to really, build a long-term business, to build a solid business, add quality content, to add solid content to my sites, and to provide, you know, quality products, real quality user experience on my sites. And a good example is that on sites that I sort of took this mentality on, that I used this mentality to build, you know, quality content, to build a good user experience on. Those sites are thriving despite all the Google updates. You know, it doesn't seem to matter what Google is throwing out in their algorithm. These particular sites are thriving, and they're starting to rank better than they ever did before, and they're starting to, you know, getting recognized in Google and all that. So again, in summary, you know, if we do things properly, we don't have to fear that we will lose our source of income or our business overnight, you know, because of one Google algorithm update. Okay, now with the latest updates, you know, there are some important changes that have come about, and I'm not going to go into those in this particular video, but later on this week I will be sending you an email where I will be pointing you to a guide that a friend of mine is coming out with this week, and it talks all about the changes. It talks about how you can, you know, not just survive but thrive despite all the changes and all that. So just be on the lookout. I hope you enjoyed a short little video. I really didn't talk too much about the theory or the changes, whatever Google has come up with, but I hope to just have instilled with you the mindset of, you know, building websites and building businesses to win, not just to chance it. You know, we are building, we're actively building, we're not just taking a chance and hoping for the best, okay? So anyways, I'll stop rambling. Thank you so much for watching my video, and thank you so much for being on my list. And I'm looking forward to talking to you next time. Bye for now.